Yo, what's good, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're going to be doing our 2024 NFL Mock Draft 3.0, our third installment of our little series going on. Yeah, we're finally on the Fanspo website. Excited about that. In my opinion, the best NBA mock draft simulator that there is website-wise. And a couple things have changed. As we could see, scrolling down a little bit, Mattis Buzuelis and Ron Holland no longer projected as the number 1 and 2 picks. Anything else I could see? Ethan Almanza a little bit lower. DJ Wagner lower. Justin Edwards a lot lower. Tyrese Proctor a lot lower. Anybody else noticeable? I think that might be it. But yeah, also the Pistons are the worst team in the league, so we're gonna give them the number 1 overall pick, and I'm gonna give them Alexander Starr, out of the NBL, I believe. I think he's originally French, but he's going to be playing in the NBL this season. Right now, I'm not going to say it's the consensus top pick, but I think most people, if you ask them, Alex Sarr will be their number 1 guy. So I'm going to have him go 1 to the Pistons. And something that's different from the NFL mock drafts, NBA mock drafts is going to be less team needs. It's going to be more best player available. And right now, Alex Sarr is the best player available in this 2024 draft. At 2, we have the Spurs. Of the Wembanyama-led Spurs. This team is not playing amazing, but they've had some bright spots on this team. Wembanyama, probably the number 1 guy. Devin Vassell has made jumps. Keldon Johnson has played well. Jeremy Shohan, while there's going to be memes about him on the internet talking about he doesn't pass to Wembanyama, overall he hasn't had a terrible season. What they really don't have right now is a point guard. Their number 1 guy is Troy Jones, who hasn't played terrible, but when we look at this team and where they're heading, with Victor Wembanyama, with Vassell, with Jeremy Shohan, you could argue they need more guard help. In my opinion, I'm going to have them go a bigger wing, because right now, Keldon Johnson and Devin Vassell, they're 2 best wings right now. Vassell's 6'5", Keldon Johnson is 6'4", 6'3". I'm going to give him 6'4", but they need bigger wings. And Zachary Reese-Shea and Cody Williams are the 2 guys that I'm going to be looking at here. I'm going to go Zachary Reese-Shea out of France as well. I mean, these French players all have the same prototype, archetype, I don't even know the word, but they're all built the same. I mean, somewhere between 6'8", and I guess Wemby's going to be the benchmark at 7'4". But lanky players whose jump shot isn't that pure yet, but they get in the passing lanes. They're great shot blockers. They're insanely athletic. And that's basically what Zachary Reese-Shea is as well. So he'll go to the Spurs. He's not going to start right away for sure. But does he get minutes off the bench? Possibly. It's just a bigger wing they need on the team. At 3 with the Wizards, I think this is another team that could utilize wing position. Right now, their wings are not too good. You have Denny Avdia, who we're still waiting on to break out. Kyle Kuzma has had a pretty good season, but could possibly end up getting traded. Jordan Poole has played terrible this season. And their point guard, Tyus Jones, doesn't make a lot of mistakes. So he's actually one of the bright spots on this team, along with Kyle Kuzma, who Kyle Kuzma might get traded at the deadline. Speaking of trades, they acquired Marvin Bagley from the Pistons. So that's something to, in my opinion, the 2 worst teams in the league trading with each other. But like I said before, they have a glaring need at the wing position. Whether it's shooting guard, small forward, they need another guy there, and I'm going to have that be the 3rd overall prospect in this draft, Cody Williams, having a phenomenal season as a freshman from Colorado. 14 points per game, 56 from the field, and still a freshman. Now that's something you don't see every day. He's just played amazing. I'll have him go 3 to the Wizards. At 4, we have the Hornets. And before, I mocked them guys like Mattis Buzuelis and Ron Holland, some of the top guys in this class. Now, is this going to be any different? I'm going to say no. I think I'm going to make this pick based off of the rumors or whatever that they're going to part ways with Miles Bridges this offseason. Not because of his on-court play. I mean, he's kind of been okay he's been mostly okay on the court, but when it comes to off the court, we know the issues. So I'm most likely going to lean a shooting guard / small forward position. Ron Holland here is one guy that catches my eye. I don't really think Jacoby Walter for them. Nikola Topic, I think him and LaMelo Ball both needs the ball in their hands. Tijan Salon, Not yet. I don't think he yet goes this high. Rob Dillingham, I don't think he goes to the Hornets. Overtime would have a field day with that, though. Rob Dillingham and LaMelo on the same team? That'd be crazy. But I think I'm going to end up going small forward here to pair another wing along with Brandon Miller. You know, that's going to be extremely versatile if we have two 6'8" players. I think Ron Holland's actually 6'7", but two 6'7" players both at your wings. Now that is something that could be interesting. We're going to go Ron Holland here at 4 to the Hornets, a guy who's dropped down the draft board a little bit, but I still believe he has all the potential. He's still a great player, and I have him going 4 to the Hornets. At 5, we have the Portland Trailblazers, a team who's kind of stuffed with guards right now. They have 4 guards who all deserve starting minutes, and at the end of the day, that's not what they're going to be able to do, considering you only have 2 guard starting spots, and at most 3 if we're going to leak into the small forward position. But Malcolm Brogdon, Scoot Henderson, Anthony Simons, Shaedon Sharpe all deserve starting minutes, but they can't get it. So I'm not gonna go guard here. I'm going to assume that they don't have all 4 of these guards by draft time. Hopefully one of those guys are traded. I don't know though. So I'm going to lean, just like the last couple of picks, I'm going to lean the small forward / power forward position with the Portland Trailblazers, and with the 5th overall pick. I'm going to lean. Yeah, I'm going to go Matas Buzuelas here, a guy who was originally projected a lot higher in these mock drafts, but has fell down due to semi-poor play and some injuries as well. I have him going 5 to the Blazers. At 6, we have the Grizzlies. Ja Morant out for the season. Desmond Bane out for 8 weeks. They're not looking good right now. I mean, this team is bare bones at the moment. One thing that is sort of secured right now is their center position. I mean, at least I could say that. They don't need they don't need center because of Jaren Jackson Jr. and Steven Adams. I know Steven Adams is also out for the season, but I'm talking about more of next year. Also Xavier Tillman, more of next year. Also Xavier Tillman is a valuable backup, big position. So honestly, we can go anywhere here. I'm thinking definitely every position but center. I think this is going to be a best player available pick for the Grizzlies. Yeah, I'm going to go best player available. I'm going to say because this Grizzlies team is looking more to win right now, I'm going to have them go. I mean, I guess it's a little tougher than I originally thought, but I'm going to have them go 6th overall pick. I was going to say Kyle Filipowski. I'm going to wait on that a little bit. You know what? I'm going to go more of a project guy. I was saying how they needed a more proven player. But right now, the only guy who I can guarantee you will go out and get you buckets right now is Rob Dillingham and Kyle Filipowski. I don't know if that's what they need at the exact moment, though. So I'm going to go to Jean Salon, actually, at number 6. They dealt with injuries, and Tejan Salon is definitely more of a project-type player. I mean, I think Tejan Salon's also from France. Talk about the same prototype player. This guy looks like he's got a little bit more muscle on him at 207. But 6'10", we know how they are. We're going to have him go right there. Now at 7 for the Spurs, talk about a perfect pick. They need guard position, and the top point guards on the board right now being Topic, Dillingham, Collier, and Castle, all guys I can probably see go right here. If we want to look at shooting guard as well, we have Jacoby Walter here. But I'm going to lean more point guard. I think I'm going to give them Nikola Topic. Yeah, I'm going to give him Nikola Topic right now. Actually, let me see who the next guy. You know what? No, I'm not going to go Nikola Topic, actually. Yeah, I'm not going to go Nikola. Actually, no. My bad. We're going to stay with Nikola Topic at 7. Talk about a guy who could do it all. Nikola Topic could get buckets at every single point on the court, but we're not even focused with the buckets right now. I mean, he's an amazing passer. I was talking about how I didn't want to pair him and LaMelo Ball. There's a reason for that. I mean, they both kind of do, not the same thing, but need the ball to do what they do. So I'll have him go at, what was that, 7 to the Spurs. At 8 with the Hawks. As much as people don't want to admit it, we're going to go point guard here. Or I guess point guard or shooting guard here. DeJounte Murray feels like he's as good as gone. Trae Young, we're a little bit uncertain about. But I mean, if this team's just going to keep being mid, I mean, that's the best way I can put it. Why don't we go stack up on the positions we could see them or we could see them move on from in the future. I think I'm gonna end up going. I think I'm gonna end up going Jacoby Walter here. No, I'm gonna end up going Isaiah Collier here at a USC. Yeah, I know they do have Trae Young. Also, I'm not gonna put it past Isaiah Collier for him to be able to play the 2 position because he's 6'5". It's not like he's a small guard. But they're moving on from DeJounte Murray. We don't know what's happening with Trae Young. Let's put a guard in there who's a young guy who we know is going to be able to make an impact on the floor whenever he plays. Isaiah Collier at 8 to the Hawks. Now at 9, we have the Rockets. And right now the Rockets, honestly, I don't know how they have the 9th pick because this is trade. It is a trade from the Brooklyn Nets. But the Rockets, they've been pretty good this season. They've slowed down recently. But when you look at positional needs, I think it's a little bit more glaring than what you'd think. Right now, Jalen Green at shooting guard, listed this far down on the depth chart. Not sure why. But I think this could be a point guard pick, and I could also see this end up being another player who could stick at the 3 or 4 position. I'm just looking at the players available. I can also see Donovan Clingan, a guy who's got injured, but will come back soon. I think that's who I gave them in the first mock draft. I gave them center Donovan Clingan just because I was talking about a change of pace guy who will come off the bench. But right now, I mean, Zach Edey kind of does that better. I think at 9, I'm going to give them. I'm going to end up giving them a little bit of a bigger player. I'm going to go Cal Filipowski out of Duke. Right now, the Rockets, I think they're ready to start. Not competing, but getting ready to start staying in these playoffs a little bit more. Kyle Filipowski, second year out of Duke, is having an All-American type season, and he's a perfect player to put with the Rockets. He'll be a nice fitting with Alperen Sengun. I'm going to assume that he does come off the bench and Alperen Sengun does start. But great fit. Kyle Filipowski goes 9 to the Houston Rockets. At 10, we earlier gave the Blazers Matas Buzuelas. So now I think we could look at more of a bigger player that's probably not a wing/guard. I'm looking at Donovan Clingan, but with DeAndre Ayton and Robert Williams right now, I'm not sure if that's the right pick. Same thing with Zach Edey. You know who I'm going to give them? Is this a little early for Reed Shepherd? Possibly. You know what? I'm not going to give them Reed Shepherd. I'm going to go Ethan Almanza out of the G League Ignite. He's a guy who, honestly, it's been tough to evaluate him through this draft process. I mean, he started off being projected at, possibly a top 5 pick. He's cooled down a little bit, but when you have a guy as athletic, as offensively capable as Ethan Almanza, it's not someone you can just drop into the 20s. I think this draft class is a lot more overall better than last year's draft class with Victor Wembanyama. That last year's draft class, I think, was a lot more top-heavy, but this year's draft class overall, I mean, guys that are in the 40 range who in other draft classes probably go into the first round. So I'm going to have Ethan Almanza go 10 to the Blazers. At 11, we have the Bulls, and I think this is where the falling of Jacoby Walter stops. The Bulls need to blow it up. Last time I gave them Stephon Castle, who's fell down the draft boards a little bit with an injury. But I'm giving Jacoby Walter. Zach LaVine, another guy who's pretty much as good as gone, in my opinion. DeRozan, I mean, he doesn't play Jacoby Walter's position, but they need guard help to replace LaVine. Jacoby Walter will give them that. I'll put him 11 to the OKC Thunder. At 12, we have the Pelicans. Now, they're a team that do not need guard help. Honestly, they need the opposite of that. I mean, Jose Alvarado, CJ McCollum, Jordan Hawkins, Dyson Daniels. I feel like one of them I'm not going to say has to go, but it feels like one of them has to go. I mean, I also didn't even mention Herb Jones, who's their starting shooting guard. I don't know where he is on this list. But Jordan Hawkins is a guy who's not consistently dropping 30, but whenever he actually goes out and gets good minutes, we see him drop over 20 points per game. And he's getting DMPs sometimes, which is crazy for a guy who can just drop 30 on just a random night. But that's just the fact of the matter. So I'm not going to go guard here. So that's going to take out Rob Dillingham. Most likely Stephon Castle. It's going to take out Reed Shepherd. I think I'm going to lean more big man. I think this is going to be a center pick. I'm going to have them go Donovan Clingan, center out of UConn. Guy that, speaking of Jordan Hawkins, played with last season. But they do need big help. Their backup center right now, Larry Nance, not terrible. They're also getting a lot older at that position. Larry Nance, he's probably in his 30s at this point. And Valanciunas, I know, is for sure in his 30s. Larry Nance age, I'm assuming he's going to be 31? Yeah, 31. And I know for sure Valanciunas is in his 30s. So get younger at the center position. Bring in Donovan Clingan. Also a guy that could possibly get Zach Edey as well. But I think right now Clingan is the better prospect. At 13, we have the Thunder. Last year they drafted a guard to potentially back up Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and Cason Wallace has been pretty good for them so far. Just looking at their depth chart right now, I guess I probably should pick this up a little bit. You guys couldn't see it last time, but point guards, we have Shai, we have Cason Wallace. Shooting guards, we don't know what's going to happen with Josh Giddey, so could that potentially alter my pick here? Maybe. Their center position's locked up with Chet Holmgren. Their small forwards position is locked up, or I guess power forward, with Jalen Williams, who's having a great season. So I might end up going guard here again. A little bit of a different guy than they are used to drafting. So not someone who, I'm not going to say he's more offensively focused, because he's had his ups and downs on the offensive side. But not having more of a traditional point guard, I'm going to go guard here, but I'm going to give them Stephon Castle out of UConn. A guy who right now can probably play the 1 through 3 and has also dropped a little bit in this draft. Stephon Castle, great on the defensive side, but offensively his 3-ball is not good. He can drive to the hoop. Pretty good, honestly, one of the top slashers in this year's class. But the jump shot, like I said before, is not it. So I think if he goes to the Thunder have back-to-back picks, but if he goes to the Thunder, he'll probably end up playing more of a Jalen Williams type role. He's going to have to improve on that 3-point shot, though. I also think he might end up staying at UConn as well, so we'll see. At 14 with the Thunder, back-to-back picks. This one I think I'm going to go more big man position. Because right now their backup center, Jalen Williams, no hate on Jalen Williams, but don't know if he's really 100% good enough to be a backup center. We're probably going to end up looking at more of a 4/5 position for them. I'm going to look to give them, scrolling a little bit farther, trying to find my guy. I think I'm going to end up giving them Kel'el Ware out of Indiana, my last lottery player in this class. Kel'el Ware has had a great season at Indiana, 15 points per game, 10 rebounds a game. He is a sophomore, but he's also a pretty young sophomore. He's not a pretty young sophomore, excuse me. Already 20 years old. But him backing up Chet, or whether Chet moves to the 4 in the future and Kel'el Ware ends up slipping to the 5 position, I don't know. We'll see. But whether he is a backup, whether he's potentially a starter, Kel'el Ware is a great player and is probably a good fit to the Thunder at 14. At 15, we have the Magic. And we've had a couple of good players slip down in this class. We're still waiting to see where Rob Dillingham ends up. But the Magic are another team that can go ahead and get themselves a big man position. They definitely don't need power forward with Paolo Banchero locking that spot off. But with center, Wendell Carter Jr., not 100% sure of his future with the team. Could I see them go Zach Edey here? I just don't really feel like this is the point where he goes. I see him more as a middle to late 20s pick. Guard Rob Dillingham. The last thing this team needs is more guards with Anthony Black, Markelle Fultz, Cole Anthony, Jalen Suggs. They don't need more guards. So I'm going to go more big man position here. Zach Edey is definitely the top overall guy, so this one's going to be hard. Could I trade out of this pick potentially? Let's say that the Magic at 15 were kind of hoping for more of a fall from Kel'el Ware or Donovan Clingan, but they weren't able to get it. So honestly, I might trade this pick. No one that is really enticing me at 15 for the Magic. like I said before, not Rob Dillingham. Ryan Dunn maybe, but he's not big man. Zach Edey, like I said before, I don't see him going this high, so I'm gonna end up trading this pick to a team who could possibly come in and look for more, Rob Dillingham here. Looking for more of a lead guard, score first guard. But yeah, I'm gonna trade this pick and see who I trade it to. I think, let's say they end up trading down to the 20s. You know what? I'm gonna go the Timberwolves here. I'm gonna say the Timberwolves trade up. We have a 29 for 15 swap. Am I gonna drop Edey down to 29 just because of that? I'm not sure. I might move the Magic back up. But the Timberwolves now with the top pick, and I think I already made this clear, but my selection is going to be Rob Dillingham. We had them trade up. The Timberwolves a top 5 team in the league at this point. But Rob Dillingham has had an elite season for Kentucky so far. And that's also being off the bench as well. 14 points off the bench, still being that efficient, and 4 assists per game is underrated from him. He's a true point guard, as much as people don't want to admit it. He's definitely a score-first guy, but Rob Dillingham can get it done. 15 to the Timberwolves. At 16, we have the Suns. Probably somewhere they don't end up at the end of the season. We're still waiting for them, the big three between Durant, Beal, and Booker, to really blossom. But a team that is as talented, or I guess as top-heavy as the Suns with Durant, Beal, and Booker, they need more scrappy guys. They need more guys to get it done on both sides of the ball, who can dive for loose balls, who can do all of that. We've seen guys like PJ Tucker do it for teams. Anyone else that comes to my mind? Not really. I mean, it's really the PJ Tucker type role. I guess Patrick Beverly, but he's more of a smaller guard. I'm going to give them... They probably do need big help right now. But right now, at the top of the board, I don't really think any of these guys can help them right now. Ryan Dunn, maybe. But I'm going to go Reed Sheppard here out of Kentucky. He can shoot the ball. He's one of the best shooters in this draft class. And he's an elite defender. He's a hustle player 100% of the time. He doesn't stop running. He doesn't stop diving for loose balls and stuff like that. I'm going 16 to the Suns. And with a team with as many veterans and as many stars as the Suns, you need some guys like that. So Reed Sheppard, 16 to the Suns. At 17, we have the Knicks, who have had a pretty good start to their season. I guess this is Dallas's first round pick, even though I didn't think Dallas was... I thought Dallas was like the 6th seed right now. I didn't think they'd have the 17th overall pick. But who do the Knicks need right now? We've heard some rumblings that Julius Randle could be on the outs. We've also heard some rumblings that, obviously OG Anunoby being traded. So that small forward position kind of set right now. The center position, though, another team who's a little bit unsure at center. Isaiah Hartenstein, Mitchell Robinson. Robinson obviously possibly out for the year. He might come back in early April. Isaiah Hartenstein, he's done pretty good, and they just traded for Precious Achiuwa because they realized that they need more center help. For the Knicks, though, I think we're going to go more of a defensive-minded player at the shooting guard position. Dante DiVincenzo is a good defender. Quentin Grimes is not, or he's not a terrible defender, but he's not a great defender. But let's get this hard-nosed, defensive-styled Knicks team rolling. Anyone that really fits that type of player, not so sure. You know what? Maybe I don't end up going. I'm going to end up going best player available in this one. I'm going to go Ryan Dunn. Honestly, I mean, he's an efficient player. He should end up being a first-round pick, in my opinion. I've seen him in all sorts of positions in terms of where he's going to be drafted. But he should be able to help a team right away. I mean, I see him getting rotational minutes right when he comes to the league. He's a sophomore. He has some experience. He is 20 years old. And overall, Ryan Dunn should be able to bring, 6.6 rebounds as a small forward. That's impressive. And maybe he's the one who takes over the spot of Julius Randle. I'm not sure. But with the 18th overall pick, we have the Atlanta Hawks, who previously made a pick in this draft. I had them taking Isaiah Collier at 8 to potentially replace one of their guards. And honestly, I could see another guard go here. Nobody too that I'm looking at too much here when it comes to a guard. I mean, possibly Tyrese Proctor here. DJ Wagner, Justin Edwards, I'm not really feeling it right here. Jared McCain, who knows? Maybe, not yet though. I'm not gonna pick Bronny here at this pick, but I was wondering if they even have him here. I don't think so. I guess it'd be more of a point guard position possibly. 105. But let's see. Who do the Hawks pick here? I think I might go center position. Even though, I mean, I've talked about this like 30 times. I mean, a lot of teams need the center position. I'm not saying that's the #1 Hawks priority, but I mean, if we look at it right now, I mean, Clint Capella and Onyeka Okongwu are their two centers. Capella, I feel like, has been on the edge of getting traded for the last couple of years, and Okongwu is their future. So maybe a guy like Zach Edey to change pace with Onyeka Okongwu for the future is the way to go. I mean, I could see him possibly in the G League for a little bit, but I think with the pick of Zach Edey, that would also be the catalyst to get rid of Onyeka Okongwu, or to get rid of Clint Capella, not Onyeka Okongwu. So honestly, is this the Zach Edey pick? I'm gonna go Zach Edey here. Yeah, beast 7'4", 306. Are you kidding me? I mean, his stats 22 and 11. He probably wins Player of the Year if Purdue keeps on trending in the right direction. I know they just had a loss against Nebraska out of all teams, but they probably still end up being the #1 overall ranked team. Right now it's 134 on a Monday, so the rankings probably already came out, but I haven't checked them yet. I'll go Zach Edey there. At 19, we have the Pacers. This team is a well-built team. You know, they're a team that's going to be built for the playoffs, a team that's going to probably end up getting eliminated in the division, or not in the divisional round, in the second round of the playoffs. Still thinking about the NFL. We got some playoff games today from when I'm recording, not when you're watching, though. I don't know when you'll see this video. But interesting position they are in. I see the point guard position is severe, and honestly, I agree with that. They probably do need a backup guy that could take that could possibly be more of a scoring guy. I mean, if we think of all their backup guards, you have Tyrese Halliburton, who's good to give you, 25 and 12 on any night. But then you have T.J. McConnell, who we know is not a scoring guard, and then also with Andrew Nembhard. So maybe a score-first guard off the bench is what can serve them right. I see Kevin McCullough here. I don't really like him for the Pacers here, I don't believe. So I'm going to go guard here. There's a guy who is named DJ Wagner, who's there it's projected at 27. I think I'll have him go right here. I'll go DJ Wagner out of Pacers. The Pacers take the potential of who was the #1 overall guy in high school for, a couple of months at least, until Ron Holland took his spot. But I'll go DJ Wagner out of Kentucky, getting them a scoring guard off the bench. At 20, we have the Knicks again. We had them go Ryan Dunn first. Now, when we look at it, the center that everyone was letting fall down the board, he got snagged by the Hawks. So, could we look at another center for them? Possibly. What would be interesting for them? Samto, I didn't know he was declaring this year. I thought he was ending up at Kentucky. I'm not exactly sure. I don't think I was going to pick him anyway. But center here, Ademara possibly, Adembona possibly. Probably not Aaron Bradshaw. But I'm not sure how to pronounce this guy's name. Haven't seen him in too many mock drafts, so I'll have to get more familiar with his game. I think the Knicks here, though, I'm going to end up going wing, going down a little bit, going down, I guess, a little bit more. Tyrese Proctor here at 20. He's a guy who did not have the leap we thought he was going to have. There's still time this season, but 9-4, it's good. It's going to be good enough for him to get drafted this year if he even declares for the draft. But we thought he was going to end up being a guy who had like a 15-6 type stat line. 9-4 right now, not amazing, but the Knicks do need more distributing guards off the bench. And also a guy who is locked down on defense and has good size at 6'5". Now with the Heat, I think this is an easy pick for the Heat. They like getting their older players. They like getting their seniors. Senior right here, Kevin McCullough, still available. I mean, who's the next senior? Dalton. I forgot how to pronounce his last name, but he's having an amazing season for Tennessee right now. I mean, he's had multiple 30-point games this season, I believe, which is crazy. And Tennessee's performing pretty well. It's either between Kevin McCullough or the Dalton guy that I forgot how to pronounce his last name. I'm gonna go Kevin McCullough though. Do they need the position? No, but look at him. I mean, Jaime Hawkins from college to the NBA, performing great. From Kevin McCullough, I assume he's gonna perform great. Dalton, we'll see. But Kevin McCullough I think he's a guy whose game's gonna be able to translate into the league. He's an aggressive guy. He has great post move for being a small forward. He's also a great defender. It's exactly a Heat type of player. I have him going to the Heat at 21. At 22, we have the Cavs. Not so sure about this player named Yves Missi. He's having an okay season for Baylor, but I think they do need to go center position. I could also see small forward though, so I'm not sure. Tyler Smith here. Bobby Clintman, a guy who we thought could have ended up going to the draft last year, but he was at Wake Forest, now wherever he is now. I think, and now he's overseas, I just don't know where. Could it be Justin Edwards? I'll go Justin Edwards. I'll go Justin Edwards. Another guy who was rated, top guy in high school, now is coming to Kentucky. Has performed pretty well, but not amazing. 23, we have the Pelicans again. Last time we gave them Donovan Clingan. This time, do they need big? I think I'll give them more wing. I'm gonna go Tyler Smith here out of G League Ignite. Just positional need in my opinion. At 24, we have the Thunder. Had them go Stephon Castle and Kalel. We were their first two picks. Good picks as well. And now they're in a position where they can kind of take the best player available in their opinion. Castle and Ware, honestly, could be viewed as more project type of players. So let's go get a guy who's not a project player. We'll go Dalton here at 24 for the Thunder. At 25, we have the 76ers. Embiid injured. Maxey and Harris have been performing good this season. Maxey has been performing great. Harris has actually stepped it up a little bit with the absence of Embiid. So I think point guard is it's another position they can add on to. Right now, their backup point guard, I know they have DeAnthony Melton, but getting an elite playmaker like Kylan Boswell is something that I could be interested in. I know he only has 4 assists. I was thinking about him or possibly Tyler Kolek out of Marquette, who's having an elite season. I'm going to draft Tyler Kolek out of Marquette. He killed UConn last year in the conference tournament, in the Big East conference tournament at MSG. So I'm familiar with his game, and I know he's going to be able to bring he should be able to bring good minutes right away to an NBA team, especially a contending team like the 76ers. At 26, we have the Nuggets. They experienced taking a sort of project player 2 years ago in Peyton Watson. He's been pretty good for them. He's getting minutes right now. Last year, they went ahead and got Julian Strawther, who's had some flashes, also has had some low moments, but overall, more flashes than low moments, I think. And I think I'm going to end up going another older player, not a project player. The center position, in my opinion, is definitely something they can upgrade on. Look at their backup centers. DeAndre Jordan and Jay Huff? Not really. You know what? I'm going to go the mystery man. I guess probably not a mystery man to most of you guys, but he's the best center available, so I'll go ahead and take him there at 26. At 27, we have the Bucks. They've had great minutes out of their last couple of draft picks, Marjon Beauchamp and Andre Jackson. Both players are starting sometimes. I think with their pick at 26, I'm going to go center again. Back-to-back centers. Just because of Brook Lopez, Robin Lopez. Robin Lopez doesn't even play. But those guys are getting older. Let's go with Dembona here out of UCLA at 27. At 28, we have the Pacers again. I think this is going to be their center pick as well. And they don't have amazing backup centers. Isaiah Jackson has been okay, but let's get a project guy. Let's get a Daymar here out of UCLA as well. Not playing well, barely plays as well, but he feels like the type of guy to just declare, because what more does he have at UCLA? I mean, he can improve, but I feel like just going to the NBA might, and at least in his opinion, might end up being the best option for him. So I'll have him go at 28. At 29, the Magic trade down, and the guy they were looking for, Zach Edey, he's not there. So let's go look for another player. They are no longer able probably to pick center unless they're comfortable with taking Aaron Bradshaw here, which we might be able to. He's not having a terrible season. But that's more of a project guy in my opinion. I think I'm still going to stick with the bigger overall player. Might look at probably Trevon in Brazil, or OC Ari Iguodaro out of Marquette as well. Two older. I mean, sophomore, not older, but I guess in these days that can kind of be, you could kind of categorize that as an older college player, because most of these guys are going to the draft as freshmen. I'm going to give them Osari Iguodaro, though. Iguodaro there at 29. He's having a good season out of Marquette. They need big help. He's a good pick. At 30, I could also kind of see him having the Trace Jackson Davis effect. You know how we saw with the Warriors? He's come in and been a great rotational piece right away. Maybe the same thing with Iguodaro. At 30, the best team in the league, we have the Celtics. Looking at the best players available, we have Trevon Brazil. I don't think Bobby Clinton goes in the first round. I don't think Jared McCain goes in the first round. I don't think De Silva goes in the first round. Kylan Boswell, I could probably see sneaking in. And, looking at what the Celtics have right now in terms of backup guards, not amazing. Also, backup center's not amazing too, but not really too comfortable with having Aaron Bradshaw right here. So I'm going to go Kylan Boswell out of Arizona, and I believe that's my last pick. It is, and there's the mock draft. Kind of comfortable with this mock draft. I like the way it went for most of the teams. The Magic, without being able to get Zach Edey at 29, were able to settle. Not settle, but they were able to get a good player like Osari Iguodaro. Top picks, I think I was pretty comfortable with. I don't know what I just clicked into, but top picks I was pretty comfortable with. We had back-to-back UConn guys. Kel'el Ware snuck into the lottery. Rob Dillingham fell a little bit, but the Grizzlies, the Timberwolves were able to snag him at 15. And yeah, that's the end of the mock draft. I hope you guys enjoy it. Not sure when you'll see this, but if you're an NFL fan, good luck for the playoffs if your team's still in there. If the NBA fan, good luck for the rest of the season, because this is going to be an interesting draft. And yeah, thanks for watching this video, and we'll see you next time. Peace.